welcome back to the Entrepreneurial Spirit Guide Podcast. I'm Nye, the Entrepreneurial Spirit Guide, your host and guide on this journey to clarity, growth, and empowerment as an entrepreneur. Today, we're diving into a critical topic that every entrepreneur faces on a daily basis: decision making. Now, decision making can feel overwhelming, especially when the stakes are high. I mean, think about making decisions regarding choosing a new project or hiring a team member or determining your next step. But what if you could approach decisions with clarity, confidence, and intention? That's exactly what we're going to explore in this episode. Not just decision making, but mindful decision making. Here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about why decision making can be so challenging for entrepreneurs, what mindful decision making is and how it can transform your approach, and finally, a step by step framework to help you make confident, aligned choices. By the end of this episode, you'll have actionable tools to approach your decisions mindfully and with confidence. So let's dive in. Let's start by unpacking why decision making often feels so challenging for entrepreneurs. The first reason is the weight of responsibility. As entrepreneurs, the decisions we make can ripple through our work, our collaborations, our personal lives. This pressure can lead to what is known as decision fatigue, where every choice feels heavy and exhausting. Decision fatigue happens when you face too many choices in a day. By the time you get to those big decisions that you have to make, your mental energy is drained. One way to combat this is to automate or to delegate smaller decisions. For example, using time blocking for your schedule or outsourcing administrative tasks. This frees up mental space for the decisions that truly matter. The second reason is the fear of making the wrong choice. There's often a fear of failure or regret. What if this decision turns out to be a mistake? This fear can leave us stuck in analysis paralysis, where we overthink instead of taking action. And finally, the challenge of balancing logic and intuition. We're constantly weighing the data-driven logic against our gut instincts. Striking the right balance can feel like a tug of war, especially when emotions are involved. Now, believe me when I say there have been times where I stood at a crossroads. One path looked promising, the other less certain. But beneath the surface, my energy told a different story. I've come to realize that decision making isn't just about facts or timing, it's about alignment. When I feel, disconnected from my inner knowing, choices feel really heavy. But when I pause, breathe, and truly listen, clarity begins to rise. Mindful decision making became my way of tuning in, not just to what I could do, but to what felt right in my spirit. Before we move on, I want to invite you into a moment of reflection. Think about a recent decision you had to make, big or small. Did you feel confident about it, or did it leave you second guessing? What made it challenging? Was it the pressure to get it right, the uncertainty of the outcome, or maybe you just had a lot of options? Now, let's shift the focus inward. When you were sitting with that decision, how did it feel in your body? Did your energy expand or did it contract? Was there a quiet nudge, like a subtle sensation trying to guide you? And did you follow it or did you override it? This is where mindful decision making really begins. Not just with thoughts, but with presence, with noticing, with listening. So take a breath, let it settle, and just sit with what came up. You don't need to fix or solve anything in this moment. Just witness it. When you're ready, bring your attention back to the present moment. So let's continue exploring how mindful decision making can support you, not just in what you choose, but in how you show up for yourself throughout the journey. What exactly is mindful decision making? Mindful decision making is about slowing down, tuning into both your logic and intuition, and making choices that align with your goals and values. It's not about rushing or being reactive, it's about being intentional. Mindful decision making has three key principles. The first, awareness. Here is where you recognize your thoughts, emotions, and biases without any judgment. Then we have clarity, where you identify what truly matters in the situation: your goals, your principles, your priorities, your values. And then we have alignment, where you ensure that your decision reflects your long term vision and purpose. Mindful decision making transforms your choices. When you make decisions like mindfully, you're less likely to feel regret or second guess yourself because you've taken the time to evaluate the options and align your choice with your bigger vision. Emotions often cloud our decision making. So mindfulness helps us to acknowledge our emotions without letting it take over. Instead of avoiding the decision or rushing through it, we can take a step back where we reflect and we then move forward with confidence. For example, ask yourself this: is this fear protecting me from harm, or is it keeping me from taking a necessary risk? This awareness can help you find clarity even in emotionally charged situations. Let's pause again for a moment of reflection. Think about a decision you've been avoiding, or maybe one you've been overthinking. It might be something small or something that's been weighing on you for a while. Ask yourself gently, why am I hesitating? Is it fear, uncertainty, perfectionism, or maybe just not knowing what's truly right for now? Now take a deep breath. Let's look at that decision through a mindful lens. What would it feel like to approach it with more presence, more curiosity, and more self compassion? In other words, how might a mindful approach help you move forward with confidence? If you could set aside the pressure to get it exactly right, what truth begins to rise to the surface? Can you sense what next step might feel light, aligned, or even just a little clearer? You don't have to solve it all right now. This is about noticing, tuning in, and remembering that clarity often comes when we create space for it. Now that we understand what mindful decision making is, let's break it down into actionable steps. I would like to share with you a framework that you can start using from today. Step one, pause and breathe. Taking a moment to pause can really help to interrupt any reactive or anxious tendencies and create space for clarity. So here's what you do: take 3 to 5 deep breaths, focus on the present moment, and let go of any distractions. Step two, clarify your goal or intention. Mindful decisions require a clear understanding of what you're trying to achieve. So, to do this, ask yourself, what is the outcome I want from this decision? Then write it down in order to stay focused. Step three is to evaluate your options. Exploring all possibilities ensures you considered all angles, both logical and creative solutions. So here's what to do: list your options and their potential outcomes. Use tools for clarity, like a pros and cons list, or you could use visual aids like the Eisenhower matrix, which I discussed in episode 6. Step 4 is to tune into your intuition. Your gut instinct often picks up on factors that your conscious mind might overlook. Here's what to do: close your eyes and visualize each option. Notice how your body reacts. Does the idea feel heavy or light, or does it feel exciting or draining? Step 5 is to align your decision with your values. When you make decisions that reflect your values, they feel authentic and fulfilling. So ask yourself, does this choice align with my long term vision and priorities? And finally, step 6, take action confidently. Mindful decision making is all about taking intentional action and not overthinking. So here's what to do: commit to your choice, Reflect on the process afterward to learn and grow, and trust that you've made the best decision with the information available. Here's an example walkthrough. Let's say you're deciding to hire a new team member. So first, you pause and breathe to calm your mind. Then you clarify your goal. Do I need someone to support my workload or bring a specific skill? Then evaluate your options. Can I outsource this task instead of hiring? Then tune into your intuition. Which option feels most aligned with my vision? And finally, take action. Make the decision and move forward with confidence. Let's try a quick visualization exercise. Close your eyes and think about a decision you're facing. Imagine each option as a path in front of you. Picture yourself walking down each path. What do you feel? Which path feels most aligned with your goals? Doing this simple visualization exercise can really help you to connect with your intuition. Now that we've explored mindful decision making, let's take a moment to reflect and apply what we've learned. Think about a decision you've been struggling with recently. What step from this framework could help you move forward with clarity and confidence? This week, choose one decision you've been avoiding and apply this mindful decision making framework. Write down your reflections and notice how it changes your process. If you'd like to share your experience or get support with a decision, reach out to me on Instagram at the Entrepreneurial Spirit Guide or send me an email at the.entrepreneurialspiritguide@gmail.com. I would really love to hear how this framework works for you. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Entrepreneurial Spirit Guide Podcast. Remember, every decision you make is an opportunity to align with your goals and values. By approaching those choices that you have to make mindfully, you can navigate your entrepreneurial journey with greater clarity and confidence. Next week, in episode 13, we'll dive into this topic from burnout to balance, protecting your energy. If you've been running on empty or feeling like your passion is turning into pressure, then this episode will help you to recognize the early signs of burnout and offer grounded strategies to protect your energy, restore balance, and reconnect with your purpose. Until next time, stay inspired, stay intentional, and keep moving forward with purpose. Remember, every decision is a step forward. Make it count. You got this.